This is the Graco SlimFit3 LX, or otherwise known as the True3Fit LX, 3-in-1 car seat, and it is great for 3 across situations. Today we're going to be installing it forward facing, and we're not going to do a 3 across, but I'm going to show you 2 techniques for installing it. The first using the seat belt, and the second using the latch belt, both using the tether. I'm Heather with Car Seat Site. I'm a child passenger safety technician and instructor. The SlimFit3 LX rear faces from 5 to 40 pounds, forward faces from 22 to 65 pounds, and becomes a booster from 40 to 100 pounds. That's what makes it a 3-in-1 seat. The overall forward-facing height limit is 49 inches. There are also 2 other ways that a forward-facing car seat can be outgrown. Let me loosen the harness. The height limit can also be outgrown if the child's shoulders go above this top harness height limit. So if your child's shoulders grow above this top harness, or if their ears grow above the top of the headrest. We need them to have whiplash protection, so their ears need to be below this headrest. This is all spelled out in the owner's manual, so you can double check it there. While we don't need to be concerned or as concerned with recline angles in forward-facing car seats as we do with rear-facing car seats, we still do have recline positions on this particular seat. So if you turn it to the side and take a look at the base, we do see that we have recline positions. So everything, Graco does this really superbly. Everything in forward facing is in orange, and so we've got orange for forward facing and blue for rear facing, and then booster seat is this green. So we've got really great color coding. So our recline angles are over here towards the front of the seat for forward facing, and right now I'm on the most upright position, which is 4. This particular seat doesn't have any particular rules on recline. Some Graco seats have weight rules when it comes to forward-facing reclines. For instance, if your child's under 40 pounds, they have to be on a recline position 4, and it's super reclined. The SlimFit3 LX and the True3Fit LX don't have those rules. You can be on either of these 2 positions. So if you want a little bit more recline, you can be on recline position 3, or if you want to be fully upright, it can be on recline position 4. Now for booster seat, you have to be on this all the way upright position of recline position 4. I would choose whatever fits your vehicle seat the best. Try and meld this to your vehicle seat, and that will give you the best installation. So I'm just going to keep it upright. That's what's going to be best for me. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my tether off of the tether storage. And you can see what I do with my tether. I use these seats for classes when we teach new technicians to become technicians. And so I kind of tie it up in a knot on the back. And so what I'm going to do is get this tether off, because we're going to use this forward facing. What the top tether does is it attaches the top of the car seat to the top of the vehicle seat, or to the top of the vehicle. And that's really important because it reduces head excursion. And head excursion is how far forward the child's head comes out of the car seat. And so we really want that. We really want to reduce that motion, because if we look at the spacing between the car seat and where the child's head is in the vehicle versus where they might hit the front seat or hit a vehicle pillar. This is called a pillar. In particular, this is the B pillar, it goes A, B, C. We want to make sure that the child's head is safe. Head injuries are the #1 injury for forward-facing children. followed closely by leg injuries. And so this tether helps mitigate or lower those head injuries. So super important to make sure that we use these top tethers all the time forward facing, whether you're using the seat belt or the latch belt. So I've got my tether and I put it forward. Now the reason I always do that first is because there's nothing more frustrating than to get your car seat installed and realize that you've forgotten to pull the tether off. So I do that first. Okay, we've got the tether, and next what I'm going to do, I'm going to take my harness apart because I forgot to do that. All right. And next we have a super cool feature here called a lockoff. And take a look at it. What we do is we run the seatbelt through the lockoff and keep that up and out of the way. And what that does is that locks our seatbelt for us. So we don't have to remember or even know how to lock the retractor on our seatbelt. This does it for us, which makes it really nice. And it keeps the car seat from tipping. And so it's a super neat feature. So we're going to get that started. So let's just leave that open. I'm going to turn the car seat back around and get that placed on the seat nice and flat. And keep that up and out of the way. Here's our tether. Okay, so here's our seat belt. Here's our forward-facing belt path. So the forward-facing belt path goes behind the child's back. So the thing you'll notice about convertible car seats, all-in-one car seats, is that we have two belt paths versus, say, a rear-facing only infant seat, which only has one belt path. The belt path is always going to be closest to the seat back. So in this case, it's behind the back. Okay, so we route the seat belt through here and right through that lockoff. Get it buckled. Okay. Now the thing with this lockoff is that it's not a belt tensioning lockoff. So we're going to actually have to make sure that the seat belt is nice and tight before we close the lockoff. Okay, so belt tensioning lockoffs are the kinds of lockoffs that do the work for us. So we just kind of place the seat belt in and then close it and it clamps down for us. But with this type of lockoff, what we have to do is we actually have to pull the seat belt tight. We have to place a lot of pressure on the car seat to actually compress the vehicle seat cushion and pull the seat belt tight. So we're going to do that right now. And I'm going to climb up into my car because with this type of car seat, I always find forward-facing car seats a bit challenging, or at least I shouldn't say challenging, I should say more difficult than rear-facing car seats. It's a different way of placing pressure on the car seat. So I like to put my knee into the front of the seat and push back. Sometimes there's also a downward motion like this. I get the best luck going back in that direction though. So I'm going to push back with my knee while I pull the shoulder belt tight. And sometimes, like I said, if you push down here, that helps too. And then just take the slack out of the seat belt and then close the lock off on top. Sometimes the heel of your hand helps close this. There we go. And then check for tightness. Okay, so that feels pretty tight. I'm at a bad angle to check side to side. I'm going to check front to back. Okay, I'm going to come out and check side to side. So grab right here at the belt path. And it's not moving side to side. So I know it's a good installation. Okay, so we want it to move 1 inch or less side to side, front to back. And we don't want it to twist. We want it to check. We want it to move side to side. So no twisting, just side to side, straight, front to back. Okay, and then we can't forget this top tether. So let's attach this top tether. And there we go. So we've attached this to the car with the seat belt and with the top tether. Again, I don't need to lock my seat belt. My seat belt is, the shoulder belt is not locked. The retractor isn't locked because I've used the lockoff in the forward facing belt path. I'm going to put this down, put the cover back into position, and there we go. That's how we install it using the seat belt. Next, we'll do a latch install. I've already set the seat up with the latch strap in the forward facing belt path. This is the push-on style latch connector, and it looks like a stapler. So make sure that when you attach it to the lower anchors that it looks like this, with the stapler basically looking upright with the fat portion on top and the red button that looks on top just like this, because if it's attached upside down, you will have trouble getting it off because the button will be hidden. So we want the latch strap to be through the belt path with the latch strap nice and flat. We don't want any twists in the latch strap, and the adjuster handle over here will be on this side or the right side of the child. We also want to make sure that we have the tether, again, because of the head excursion. We talked about that during the seatbelt portion of setup. The tether will reduce head excursion of 4 to 6 inches. So it's a super important part of installation. We use it whether we're using seatbelt or the lower anchors. So it's really important that we use that top tether because it's what anchors the top portion of the car seat. It's just, it's such a safety feature that we want to make sure that we use it. The way that I like to attach my lower connectors to my lower anchors is by turning the seat sideways like this. I like to make sure, again, that my latch strap is nice and straight. And I just find my lower anchors like this. Mine are hidden by this flap, and I just make sure, again, that it's upright, the connector is upright, and I just attach it. Get a nice solid click like that. Turn the seat back around. If I'm trying to reach around the seat like this, I can't see the lower anchor, it's hard. I've got a cup holder in my ribs. You can certainly take off the cup holders if you need to, or if you're in that 3 across situation, sometimes you need to remove those cup holders just so that you can get that 3 across, because sometimes those cup holders will hit each other. So remember that the cup holders are optional. You don't need them. You can pop them on and off. The cup holder removal button is right here. It's this light gray button right there. So you just press it and they come off. And that's a nice feature. So we'll make sure that that is nice and straight. Push this over, get the other side on. Okay, straighten that out. And I'm just gonna pop this tether over here for the time being. Okay, now one thing we don't do is we don't run the latch strap through that lock off. So the seatbelt lock off is for seatbelts only. So we just make sure that it's closed and run the latch strap across the top of it. And again, I'm going to get into the car and I am just going to pull this latch strap from the inside again, because if I try and pull it from out here, you can see that it just like it's not pulling anymore, it stops. So if I route it through here and pull through here and push here, I get it a lot tighter. You could probably see the car seat lean down. So if I push here, and I'm also going to use my knee and get a little bit of this action that way too, it's going to get it tight. I'm going to check this way, and there's still a little bit of movement. So let me push down a little bit more. That got a lot tighter. Okay, that's it. So let's check. So side to side, front to back. You can see how much movement I get up here at the top, and that's because that top tether is not attached. It's only attached right here. And yeah, so when we attach this top tether, it's going to be a lot less movement. Now, one thing I forgot to mention is that the lower connectors have a 45-pound weight limit. So once your child reaches 45 pounds, you have to switch over to a seatbelt installation. Okay, so let's get this top tether attached. All right, that's it. So that's a latch installation and using the top tether. And again, that's good up until the child reaches 45 pounds. And that's it for the SlimFit3 LX and the True3Fit LX. Again, it's the same car seat, just different names depending on where you buy it. Thanks for watching the video. If you found it helpful, please consider subscribing to my channel and liking the video. It really does help.